Welcome to TERRA at Home with your host, Chris Moretti.
Good morning and welcome to TERRA at Home. With the arrival of fall comes all sorts of great things to do in the outdoor spaces of our homes. And I'm joined right now by Derek Dunphy from Aquascape. Thank you so much for being with us, Derek.
Thanks for having me back.
We chatted earlier this season about great ways to get the pond started and the benefits of water features. So for those who have taken the plunge and installed a water feature this season, there are some things that we should get ready, start thinking about doing in order to prepare it for the winter months.
Yeah, absolutely. We should be looking at the plants and how we can protect them going into the winter, and then looking at the fish, of course.
I think one of the most common questions that we get here at TERRA, of course, as we approach fall with fish in the pond is, what happens to them? Where do they go? Do we take them out? What do we do with the fish?
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of people, I think, that unnecessarily look for alternatives to move them indoors, like into the garage or into the basement. And the truth of the matter is, as long as your pond's a couple feet deep, 24 inches plus, you can keep them outside all winter long, and there's a few different things you need to do, however, to make sure that they stay safe underneath the ice.
Let's talk about nutrition first off. We do have premium cold water fish food here. So as we get into colder months, colder temperatures, the dietary needs of your fish will change, correct? Right.
As the water cools down, their metabolism slows, they eat less, and then the food they eat should be reflective of that. The metabolism is slower, so higher wheat germ, foods that have higher wheat germ contents will be digested easier, and that's what our cold water food offers.
Okay, so is there sort of a temperature send-off that tells us at this point this is when we switch?
Yeah, as soon as the water gets below 15 degrees Celsius on a kind of regular basis, that's when you should be switching to the cold water food. And when the water gets below 10 degrees Celsius, you shouldn't feed them at all.
Okay, so making sure they stay safe throughout the winter, feeding is a big part of that. We don't want to feed them later than we should.
Right. Now, generally speaking, they won't eat it once it gets too cold.
Okay.
But if they are silly enough to eat it, it will sit inside of them and not digest very well. And if they don't eat it, the food will rot in the water, and that's not good going into the winter either.
Okay, so keeping them protected is sort of secondary to that too. In the fall, often our plants begin dying back, so they don't have as much cover in the pond areas. So pond netting can be helpful with that in order to protect them from predators?
Yeah, that will certainly help. But before we get to the netting, what I normally would do is get rid of all the annual plants. Anything tropical that you've put in the pond, hyacinth, floating lilies, floating water lettuce, and any tropical lilies you could remove from the pond entirely.
Okay.
And if they're hardy, you can cut them right back. That will really help in the winter, because all of that is going to rot. There's people out there that will keep them in and say, well, maybe they'll make it, we'll see in the spring. If they don't look good, I'll take them out. But what will happen is they'll rot, they'll affect the water chemistry, and it will be far more difficult for your fish to make it through the winter.
So removal of organic materials in the water actually helps to improve the water quality and is safer for the fish going into the winter?
Absolutely, right, because that stuff, 99% of the time isn't going to make it. It will rot in the water, and that decomposition happening underneath the ice will really make the water toxic for the fish. Because what happens is the ice is covering the vast majority of the surface, with the exception of the area that's covered by the de-icer, and we'll talk about that shortly, I'm sure. But it doesn't vent off as quickly, so a lot of that stuff will remain in the water, and that's not good for the fish. So all the tropical plants, get rid of them. The lilies, cut them right back. The only plants I wouldn't cut back are the long grasses, any kind of reed type of material coming out of the pond. I leave those and cut them back in the spring. They actually act as little tubules, kind of helping to vent the pond going into the winter. So leave them long, but everything else cut short.
So let's talk about venting the pond and aeration, which of course is another very key component in making sure our fish stay safe. So keeping a hole open, you mentioned that most of the surface of the water is covered over, so anything in that water can kind of build up. Keeping a hole open is crucial.
Yeah, it's key. Obviously, like I said, the fish don't eat, so you don't need to keep a hole open to feed them, but it does need to vent off. There is, they do breathe still a little, although far less than they did in the winter, so the water needs to have access to oxygen. And so the different ways to keep a hole in the ice are either to keep your waterfall going all year, which some people do.
Okay.
They'll have the waterfall going and the water's moving so quickly as it enters the pond that it will keep a hole in the ice, both in front of the skimmer and in front of the waterfall if you have a skimmer. So that's one way of keeping a hole in the ice. The trick there, though, is as it's flowing and splashing, the ice will be building up at the top, and you might be losing some water down below. So the water level underneath the ice might be dropping, and you might not realize that.
So keeping an eye on water levels throughout the winter months when we've got ice building up is really important in doing that.
Yeah, you may even have to do a top-up, but because of that, most people use a de-icer and don't keep the waterfall running at all. They say, I'm not going to be outside in the winter. It doesn't really make sense to have the electricity burning all winter long. I don't need the waterfall going, but I do need a hole in the ice. So you can have a floating de-icer, and ours is a stainless steel model that just sits on the top of the water. It has a little red light that tells you when it's got power and a little blue light that tells you when it's on, because it will be turning on and off all winter.
Also, it self-regulates in order to keep a hole open.
That's right, yeah.
Okay.
So thermostatically controlled, so it's not running all the time. Just as the ice starts to form around it, it will turn on and it will open up a hole again, and basically it will go on and off from December till March or
Perfect.
April. Yeah.
Well, that's easy.
Yeah.
Quickly before we go, we'll go back to the pond netting, which we touched on.
Okay,
Pond netting
yeah.
helps to prevent predators from attacking your fish, but it also helps in keeping organic materials out of the pond, like leaves falling from trees, that kind of thing.
Right, yeah, after you've cleaned out the plants, you don't want to have any more organic stuff blowing in, so I missed that point. After the organics are gone, you should put the netting in. We sell a netting that comes with tent pegs, so you can peg it all the way around. It'll stay nice and taut. And if any leaves do build up on the top of it, you should try to kind of once a week, get them off of the pond so that they don't rot and just fall through.
Okay. So basically, keeping organics out of the water, making sure that the fish are nice and healthy and stay safe with the hole open, and then of course we've got beneficial bacteria made especially for cold water. We talk about bacteria all the time and how it's helpful in the water, and those are really the key points in making sure our pond is healthy.
Yep, the bacteria is the same thing. It stops working once it gets down to about 10 degrees Celsius as well. So between 15 and 10, when you change the food, you can also change the type of bacteria that you use, and it will actually work to a little bit colder water temperatures and continue to break down the organics that are left in there, because it'll never be 100% clean.
Thank you so much, Derek, for the helpful hints as we prepare for fall.
Great, thank you for having me.
Coming up after the break, more great ways to enjoy the upcoming fall season on TERRA at Home.
Come and explore the new TERRA, where color lives.
When we first bought the house, the lawn was nothing but brown. So I called my father-in-law. He's really good with the lawn. He knows exactly what to do.
Well, I told him you're Scott's turf builder. He said, well, I got this other stuff, and I told him, take it back to the store. But some brands have filler, like sand and gravel, stuff you don't want on your lawn. Scott's turf builder is pure food. Every granule's 100% nutrition. You get what you pay for every time. You see what happens, Tim, when you listen to your father-in-law?
All food, no filler. That's the Scott's advantage.
Welcome back to TERRA at Home, where we're now on location at Supperworks in Ancaster, and I'm here with the owner, Stacey Sherwood. Thank you so much for being with us, Stacey.
Well, thank you for having me.
Supperworks Supperworks is such a cool concept. I mean, we all live very busy lives. Taking time to create healthy, nutritious meals can be challenging for families on the go, moms on the go.
Absolutely.
And you've got a great solution here. Can you tell us about Supperworks and what the concept is here?
Absolutely. Supperworks is a meal assembly facility. Basically, we take all the work out of supper. We do the washing, the chopping, the shopping, all the prep work for you. So all you have to do is come in and assemble your meals. And then you take home these freezable meals, put them in your freezer, and just pull them out and thaw them and cook them. And then so you've got a nice, healthy, nutritious meal on the table in probably about half an hour.
Beautiful. And what I like so much about the concept is that you're using fresh ingredients that
Yes.
are essentially homemade. I mean, you're making them, you're not making them at home, but it's homemade ingredients that you put together yourself and bring it home and it's ready to go.
Absolutely. They're the same ingredients that you would buy at home. We've just done all the work. We've done all the grating and the chopping, the washing.
All the stuff we don't like doing at home.
Absolutely. But the great thing is that you can customize it just like you would at home. So if you have, if you're diabetic and you can't have salt, but your husband likes a little bit extra garlic, then you can do that just like you would at home, and you just customize it to your taste.
So basically you can add or omit ingredients as,
Yes.
as needed in each station. So the way it works here is basically you've got a menu to choose from basically at any
Yes.
given time, and then we've got this beautiful facility with all these different stations, and you
That's
sort
right.
of move station to station,
Yes.
putting together the meals.
That's right. We offer 14 different recipes every month, and it's a great balance between pork, beef, chicken, fish, and great vegetarian options as well.
Great.
So you can pick 6, 9, or 12, come in and put those together, and it only takes about 2 hours to put together 12 entrees.
Wow.
And each entree feeds 4 to 6 people.
So you've got a whole lot of cooking already done
Absolutely.
when you bring it home.
That's
It's
right.
fabulous. So we're at one of our stations here for a great veggie option.
Yes.
We're going to make some veggie-licious stuffed red peppers, I
That's right.
understand.
That's
so we've
right.
got all of our beautiful ingredients in front of us, ready to go, and all we have to do is follow the instructions, right?
Absolutely, yes. So we would just follow a recipe card just like you would at home.
Yeah.
So if you pass me that bowl.
I can do that. There we
Okay,
go.
3, thank you. And you can hold the pan for me.
Sure.
So it's just a matter of following the recipe card.
So 1 cup cooked brown rice.
Some
We've
brown
got our
rice.
card.
Get a little chickpeas going. Cup of that. And then we're going to add some cheese.
So this is one where if you're a bit of a cheeseaholic like me, you could maybe
Absolutely.
throw a little extra in there
That's
if
right.
you were so inclined.
So this is a great recipe because it's really cheesy. You get to put cheese in the recipe, and then when you're topping your peppers, then you get to put as much cheese on it
On
as you
top
like.
too.
Yes.
Perfect.
You get a little bit of green onion in there. Now I don't like mushrooms, so I'm not going to put mushrooms in mine.
Okay.
But I will put a bit of extra carrot because carrots are good for you. All right. Put a little bit of garlic in.
See, we've got great ingredients going in. Everything's fresh, and I love it's colorful. Obviously, really great ingredients going in
And they
here.
look just beautiful, don't
They
they?
do.
Look so healthy. And they're all ingredients that you would buy.
Yep.
Okay, so and that's it. Well, actually, we're going to add a little bit of pepper because we provide all the spices. And the great thing about Supperworks too is all the spices that you buy and you put up in your cupboard for about 6 months because you only use about a quarter teaspoon every time.
Yeah.
Well, we go through them so often that
They're all
it's everything fresh. Everything's fresh.
You know what else I like too, and I'm seeing it at every station too? You've got all the little measuring cups. Everything's
Yes.
beautiful. Measuring cups, little spoons, and everything in the exact right size and the right proportion. So we've got all the nice shiny implements here that I
Absolutely.
might not have at my house.
Absolutely, that's right.
Now, what was this that just went in
This
there?
is sun-dried tomato dressing, and that's what we
Lovely.
use to just bind it together a little bit. And you know what, I'm going to ask you if you're going to put 5 peppers in that pan for me while I
Sure.
mix this up, and then we'll stuff it up.
So this is a great thing. We've got, this is one veggie option, but like you said, there are different options to choose from. And I understand that the menu changes pretty regularly. Monthly, do the
Every
menus
month.
change?
Every
So
month.
you could essentially come every month and do, say, 12 entrees every month and
Yes.
never end up with the same thing over and over again. So the family never gets tired of what you're making.
That's right. Actually, I used to be a customer out of the Oakville store, and I used to make 12 entrees a month. And I would pull them out 3 times a week, and that was my regular. I used that as part of my grocery shopping. That was my
Sure.
menu planning, and it was fantastic because I knew Monday, Wednesday, Friday I had all my meals prepared.
Yeah.
And then There's always enough left over in our family for some leftovers for the next day.
Or yeah, to take for lunch, all of that.
So, you know, you think the money not only that you're saving for your dinners, but for your lunches too, because you're bringing healthy options for lunch as well.
I like too that it's a really convenient and easy option, but it's still good for you.
Yes.
So as opposed to, you know, getting something that's frozen and pre-made, or maybe, you know, going for pizza or something. I mean, that's good once in a while, but these are good, easy options for you that don't have any preservatives, and they're all whole ingredients that, like you said, you would use in your own kitchen.
That's absolutely right. And yes, I mean, we do that too. You know, maybe Friday night we'll have the pizza, but you know, I took 2 hours of my time and made all my meals, and in about 20 minutes, like these take actually about 30 minutes to cook. But that's about as long as it takes to get a pizza to your place.
Exactly.
Right? So if you already have this and you've already done it, you know, you feel so much better giving your family a healthy option.
Definitely.
You know, and all it takes is, okay, what am I making for dinner? Pull it out of the freezer the night before, and when you come home at 5:30, you can have dinner on the table
all
by
done.
about 6, quarter after 6.
I love it. I love it.
It's perfect.
Now, Ancaster is just one location of Supperworks, and you've been here for about 6 months?
That's right.
Wonderful. And it's been received well in the community?
It's been fantastic. I mean, because I'm so close to Oakville, and Oakville is the flagship store, and so I certainly did benefit from the proximity. But you know, the Ancaster community has really welcomed me, and I've made some really great friends already, and they keep telling. And I found it's a small community, and it's so exciting when people come in and say, I just keep hearing about this place and I had to come and check it out.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Now,
yes.
aside from being a great place to prepare meals, there's also a fun social aspect here where you can come in with a couple of your girlfriends and have a bit of a meal preparing party if you're just doing it for a regular thing, but you can also book private events here as well.
Absolutely. I've had sorority meetings here. I've had baby showers. That was fantastic. Everybody showed up and made all the meals for the parents to be.
Oh,
and they
wonderful.
went home with 24 meals. It was fantastic.
What a great idea.
Absolutely.
Well, the last thing you want when you've got a new baby is to worry about what's for dinner,
That's right. Exactly.
That's
great for the new married couples as well. It makes a great gift for them. But yeah, and a lot of them are just some ladies getting together, having a glass of wine, and just walking around chatting and making their meals.
It's a good thing.
It is.
This could be a great option for students as well, I'm sure. So kids who are going back to school, kids at university, of course we're in September now, so I mean all the kids are back, and maybe you're a little worried about what they're getting to eat out there. Maybe pizza every night might not be a great plan, so this could be a great thing. Come in and make a bunch of meals, put them in a cooler, and ship them off to university with the kids.
Absolutely. Actually, I've had a lot of university students coming in just in August with their parents and trying these recipes out for them, and they're very excited about that.
It's a wonderful thing. Stacey, thanks for showing us this great concept and for being a part of the Ancaster community. For more information, can we find you online?
Absolutely. We're Supperworks.com, and we're the Ancaster store.
All right. Great. I can't wait to take this home and try it in the oven. Coming up after the break, more great meal ideas with Chef Rachel.
Come and explore the new TERRA, where color lives.
Welcome back to TERRA at Home, where we're now in our own TERRA at Home kitchen with Chef Rachel Johnstone. Hi, Rachel.
Hi, Chris.
I'm very excited to see what we're creating today. Rachel, I had a good opportunity earlier today to see some really interesting, easy meal ideas that are pre-prepped at home and then are pre-prepped at Supperworks and then made at home. You've got another solution for family dinners for people who maybe want to spend a little more time in the kitchen, and we've got a really great seasonal family dish ready to make today.
Yeah, we are going to be doing a roast chicken in the oven with a nice glaze on top and a warm orzo salad.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, so a nice meal the whole family can enjoy, and you know, everyone can help kind of put it together.
Something I love about making an entire roast chicken is the leftovers too. They always make great chicken salad or sandwiches or something. There's always a little bit left over, and you can make something great with that too.
Yes, that's true. Okay, so we're going to start off with the pasta first, and this is orzo. So it is a pasta that's shaped like rice.
Okay.
So you cook it in the same way that you would cook a pasta. So I have a pot of boiling water here with a little bit of salt in there.
Okay.
So we'll just put that in to start. And that'll take about 8 minutes or so.
Sure.
While we're getting everything else ready. Okay. I'll just give that to you.
Sure.
Now for the chicken. So this is just it's about a 3-pound chicken. It's already trussed and tied up together, which makes it easy for cooking. And I've just seasoned it with a little bit of salt and pepper.
Okay.
And for the glaze, it's really simple, just a little bit of maple syrup, some balsamic vinegar, and olive oil.
Maple syrup, that's an interesting choice, but it's going to be so delicious.
It'll get really crisp on the outside and nice and caramelized. If you can grab me some herbs, I think for this we'll put in some rosemary and thyme. So we'll chop some of that up. So I'll mix these 3 together, and it just makes for a nice kind of glaze to baste the chicken with. The oven is preheated to 400. High heat is good for roasting a chicken. I think it'll get nice and crisp on the outside. So I'll check it maybe once or twice during the cooking time and baste it a little more. So we'll get that ready. I'll just, the time is so small we don't even really have to chop it. We can just put it right in.
Fresh herbs in a glaze just really add that extra something, especially with something like a whole roast bird. All those wonderful flavors kind of percolate through, and it's going to be great.
Yeah, and you can really use any kind of herb that you have around. I think rosemary would probably be very good with this. Maybe some oregano, different variations of thyme too. If you want to put some lemon thyme in there, that would be nice. Well, you got me some rosemary. Okay.
Did you want rosemary?
Parsley. Did I say rosemary?
Yeah, we want parsley?
Sure.
Let's do parsley.
Let's do it all. Okay, that'll be nice. Just roughly chop, and then we'll put together the salad.
Great.
Okay, so let's see. We'll just quickly baste this here, mix it all together, and get it ready for the oven.
So once again, that's just a simple glaze. It was maple syrup, balsamic, and olive oil, and then fresh herbs.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Exactly. So, okay, this is all oven ready now. And like I said, we'll check it once or twice during the cooking process and make sure that it's all covered in that nice rub.
How high should we preheat the oven for chicken?
So for 400 for
400.
for this recipe. All right, so that's looking good.
Okay.
We'll put this to the side and we'll make the dressing for the pasta.
Okay. So the pasta we're actually going to do with some other ingredients like a salad.
Exactly.
Okay.
So if you time it at the right time, when the pasta comes out and it drains, it'll be nice and warm, and then you mix it with it'll be cold vegetables, but the pasta will be a little bit warm. So for the dressing, we're starting out with a little bit of garlic chopped up, just roughly chopped, about a clove. The juice and zest of 2 limes.
Okay.
And then to this, we're going to add soy sauce. A couple tablespoons.
Okay.
This is a really nice dressing. Some chili pepper flakes.
A little bit of heat.
Yeah, however many you like, depending on your taste. 2 tablespoons of sugar in there. And we'll whisk that up and we'll put some olive oil in and make a dressing. Now I've chopped up some green onions and cucumber, so that's ready to be tossed there too. And I'm gonna dice up some fresh avocado as well.
Wow, nice fresh flavors in here. It's going to really complement things nicely.
Right. So this to this recipe, you can definitely add some fresh herbs to this as well. It would be very nice. Even if you didn't have any vegetables that you wanted to put in, and you just wanted to do a dressing with some fresh herbs, maybe some fresh lemon zest, that would be a nice alternative as well. So just like any other pasta, you can do so much with it.
The sky's the limit. I like the combination of ingredients in the dressing though. Really unusual, I think. It's something not like we've done before, so I'm excited to try it.
Yeah, it is very good. It goes really well with this salad. So
okay.
If you don't mind, I'll grab this bowl. We'll put our veggies in here and get it ready, and then I can chop up the avocado. So when this pasta's ready, al dente, or however you prefer it, We'll drain it and mix it right in with these veggies.
Okay.
And the dressing. For the avocado, we're just going to dice it. This feels nice and ripe. It's always scary cutting into an avocado. You never really know. You never really know what you're gonna get, but this feels nice. And it looks beautiful. Nice and easy to peel. So I just cut right down the middle. I like it when it works easy like that. Sometimes it's a little messy.
You always make it look easy though, Rachel.
And we'll just cut it into nice big chunks. I love avocados, so.
Beautiful, vibrant greens in our salad. It's going to be beautiful.
There we go. So we can add this in, and we'll cut up some more for the top. Since I love avocado, I like to put a little bit on the top, just so you can see it, and it's not really mixed all in there. So I'll continue cutting this.
Okay, sounds great. So we'll get the rest of our veggies ready to toss. The chicken will go into the oven as our pasta finishes cooking, and when we come back, we'll put it all together. Of course, for tips and tricks on how to perfect this recipe, you can get this and all of the details online at terragreenhouses.com. Join us after the break.
Come and explore the new Terra, where color lives.
Welcome back to Terra at Home, where Chef Rachel has created a fabulous family dinner. Rachel, it smells amazing and it looks beautiful. Let's recap our beautiful glazed chicken here.
So we just had a whole chicken here. We put on a little mixture of olive oil, some balsamic vinegar, and maple syrup. It went in the oven at 400 degrees. Takes between, I would say 45 and an hour. It depends on your oven.
Yep.
This took about maybe 50-55 minutes. You want to check it maybe once or twice during the cooking time. Baste it a little more with the juices. It is going to come out very dark. That's the balsamic vinegar. The sugar's in there that's caramelizing, so that's okay. It gives it a nice color. So that's all ready to be carved.
Looks great, and we're going to put together our orzo salad.
Right. So we've chopped up our vegetables here. We have avocado and cucumber and green onion. Mixed together, we did the pasta just in boiling water for about 8 minutes. So we're gonna mix most of this in with the veggies and then put our nice dressing on. Okay,
Fabulous.
we'll start with that.
And of course, once again, for tips and for all of the directions and the wonderful ingredients for this recipe, you can visit terragreenhouses.com for this and all of Chef Rachel's recipes.
All right, so once you have this all mixed, then we can add the dressing. The dressing, what do we have in here? We
All
have
sorts of great
some
stuff. You have soy
oil,
sauce. And,
yeah, soy sauce, oil, some red pepper flakes, garlic, lime juice, lime zest. Okay, so if you just want to mix that in,
Sure.
there, and I'll get this chicken off, and we'll start to carve it.
Sounds great. Do I want to put all of this in, Rachel?
You
The
can
whole
just,
thing?
I would do almost all of it, mix it up, just kind of do it by looking and see, how it goes.
Great fresh flavors, fresh colors for a great meal that can be done on the weekend or even a weeknight when you've got an hour to spare.
Yep.
Sounds like a great plan.
All
Beautiful.
right. Oh, it's still nice and hot.
That
Wonderful.
looks great. All right.
Thank you, Chris.
That's a lot of salad there.
There we go.
Join us next week for more great recipes from the Terra at Home kitchen, as well as adventures from the kitchen, the garden, and beyond.